Let's wait for YouTube to catch up to the action. I think YouTube has now officially caught up. Let's see here. Let's go back. And let's try this one more again. There we go. Piper. Let's make sure I can hear myself. I can hear it. Okay, we can hear it now. All right, very good. So, welcome back to the latest episode of the Airplane Show. Welcome back, all my fine aviation enthusiast friends. We're going to do a nice little flight today that took place the other day from Querétaro International to Acapulco, Mexico. That's one place I have never been. I've been to a lot of places in Mexico, never been to Acapulco. This plane actually flew yesterday. And, with this Piper, with as high-tech as it is on the inside, I think it's best to deactivate a lot of we need to deactivate quite a bit of stuff. So let's do that first. Let's deactivate what we need to. I don't want anything to mess up with this, so we'll turn the photogrammetry off. We're going to turn live weather off. And for traffic, we're going to turn traffic off as well. We're going to set all these to 0. I don't like having to do this, but I don't really have a choice. So let's do that. So all that is off. I believe that's everything we need to do. Let's go ahead and get our airplane. Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful Wednesday. It's hump day. Mike. Guess what day it is, Mike? All right, let's see here. Piper. Where are you hiding at, baby? There you go. FSR Reborn. FS Reborn, actually. All right, let's go ahead and choose a livery. Let's see what this bitch looks like here. Not bad. Pretty cool looking. And I think we should, maybe let's do ocean blue today since we're flying to the ocean. What does ocean blue light look like? Can't really tell a difference. Is it lighter in color? Not tell. Let's put ocean blue over here. I really can't tell a difference. We'll go with light today, I guess. All right, and now let's go ahead and go here to customization. Let's put the tail number in. Yes.
Can I have the pen?
Oh,
Yeah. I already had one today.
I got you. Sure. Bye. All right, the tail number for this particular plane was, looking at SimBrief right now. I know I typed it in. Where'd it go? Is it M500 SB? Let me go back to SimBrief real quick. I'll just do it on my tablet. Easier. No, I typed it in. Okay, yeah, that's the airframe. Let's view this. Airframe. Let's edit the flight. As I know I typed this thing in. No, it didn't keep. That's what happened. We'll just do this together. I know I typed it in. Back here. Let's go here. McAllen, that's what it did today. Here is the flight from yesterday. Boy, it did look like 4 flights yesterday. That's pretty wild. Yeah, N343RR. Let's type that into the sim brief here. N343RR. And everything else stayed the same. All right. So let's type that in. N343RR. We'll call this Yo. Put in Mama here. See if it keeps that. There we go. All right, so our tail number is correct now. Let's go back to Twitch and do the full screen deal. All right, so we got Yo Mama, N43RR, and I think we can pull everything in from SimBrief. I forget. It's been a couple of days since I've done this plane. All right, let's type in our airport here. Is that MMQT? We're taking off here, ramp 6. Let's do ramp 8 for Cal Ripken Jr. There's a small parking somewhere. Medium. Oh, here's small. Do 23 for Michael Jordan. And we have in here time of day. 1830. 1830 is the because it took off at 2:30. So let's put in here. All right, let's put in around this time here. Works. All right, let's go ahead and let's get everything set up here. If I remember correctly, I think we can pull everything. This plane is really high tech. So I think we can pull a lot of the stuff in that we need. If you haven't seen this plane yet, this is one of the best planes, I think, in the simulator. This thing is awesome. Cool looking. All right, let's go here. So here's our status page. We're the airplane. Light bulbs are okay. Tires are okay. Battery's okay. The engine's okay. So all that's okay. Go ahead and import our flight plan from SimBrief. Here's our OFP report right here that I always refer to when I'm saying I'm looking at the flight plan. This is what I'm actually looking at here. All right, let's pull up our departure chart. We're doing this departure here, so we can leave that chart up. Very good. All right, ground. Put out our security cones. Let's GPU, flaps, and landing gear. We have all that. Let's go ahead and connect the GPU. Go ahead and open the door. Let's roll out the red carpet. And let's load. So we're requesting fuel truck. Let's see how long it says it's going to take. Go ahead and take our covers off. Leave the chocks on and the security cones on. Turn avionics on. I think I can. I want to get our flight plan pushed over. That way when we get look at that, it already has it in there. That is pretty dope. There's the fuel truck. And we know we can set all this while we're flying. Don't need to do that now. All right, let's go ahead and turn avionics off. And we need a total. I don't usually do this with this plane where I like have the trucks come, but I want to kind of see what the full animation looks like, so we're going to do it today. We should have a total of 351 for our fuel. Man, what is this thing doing? Takes forever. Like it has to be in the perfect spot. Unless it's like a drive-by fueling. Finally good. Are you going to connect now? Connecting hose. Now, when the developers made this, I wonder why they made this take so long. You know what I mean? Like, all right, there we go. Like I said, we should have a total of 343 kilograms of fuel, if it does what the flight plan has. Sure is a fuel imbalance. That's cool. It does one side at a time. There we go. There's our hose there. Very interesting. Hang out outside so we don't have to listen to all that dinging. Oh, wrong button. Wrong button. Okay, very good. Now our fuel is even. Hose is disconnected. Truck is going away. Right, passengers are boarding the vehicle. They're going to be brought over to the side over here. Walk on that little red carpet. So we got about a minute until they show up. Not sure which way they're coming from, but I think it's a Range Rover that brings them over here. There's our fuel truck going away. Let's contact the ATC and get clearance. $29.92. All right. I didn't think the QNH was going to change since we have live weather turned off. All right, here we go. Here's our passengers coming. Our very hungry, our very thirsty passengers. Sure enough, looks like a Range Rover. Like the little thing here and the front end looks like a Range Rover. Now, I don't think we see anybody actually get out of the vehicle. Taking selfies, that's funny. Oh, we got a little bag there. Oh my god, let's go take selfies in front of the M500. Oh my god. It's like a super excellent plane. Like, for real. Flirting with the pilot. Oh, we like that. Funny, flirting with the pilot. All right, boarding. All right, we are good. Let's get rid of the chocks, get rid of the security cones, get rid of the red carpet, and let's start completing our checklist here. All right, let's fix this up a little bit so we can actually take off. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and close this door. Go ahead and let's connect the GPU. All right, very good. Now let's do this here. right, I think everything is good now for the rest of the takeoff. Normal takeoff. Yeah, all right, so we're good. We can turn off the checklists. Let's go ahead and put our pitot switch on, as they call it. Our pitot heat. And we might as well set our destination, like the approach and arrival and all that. Let's do that real quick. All right, select approach. Enter, we're doing ILS 3, runway 10. Oh, they do not have it. That is very interesting. That is interesting. All right. Let's switch. Well, you know what? I'm not switching our flight plan. We're just not going to have it built into the flight plan then. Let's see if we can get the arrival at least that we need. Let me reset the... Okay, so we had ILS 3 Alport, and our arrival was Vora 1. So, okay. So it is AVURA 1. This one here. And let's see if they have the approach now. Yeah, I wonder why they don't have it. That is really weird that they don't have... All right, so we're just not going to have an approach built in. That's fine. All right, let's go back to here. All right, and let's put in our cruising altitude is 21,000 feet, so let's plug that in. And we're going to take a look at the VNAV screen real quick before we go anywhere and make sure that's okay. See if there's any altitude constraints. Nope, I don't see any altitude constraints. So I do want to be at 2,100 feet, about 5 miles before the airport. So let's see if we can at least set that. VNAV profile. Let's see what it has here. Okay, it does. It has it. All right, very good. So we're good. All right, let's go back to flight plan. Let's zoom this into 5 miles to try to keep the screens on. Let's see if our passengers are okay. Oh, they're already hungry and thirsty. All right, we'll buckle up. And here, we'll get you guys something to eat and something to drink, because we know you guys are hungry and thirsty all the time. All right, there's our chart for takeoff. We can see our little snacks here. We have, I think those are Post-it notes, but we have a croissant, some, I guess those are macaroons, and some Post-it notes. So, yeah, man, they're good. All right, let's go ahead and taxi. Now, we're supposed to be taxiing in this beta mode that they have here, right? Where we're at now. It's like it's reverser mode, but that's the mode that they say we're supposed to use for takeoff, so that's what we're going to do. Oh, you know what? I never set up a procedure for the takeoff. We're doing EXO SAS1. Oh yeah, look, it says we're supposed to be in beta mode, right? Our plane stops. It doesn't make sense to me. You know, in order to keep the engine in good shape, according to the 150-page document that I have on this plane, we're supposed to not go over 20 knots for taxi mode, and we're supposed to stay in beta mode. But every time I go into beta mode, you know, we wind up stopping. So. Oh, you know what? Let me, shit, I don't know if I saved it on this iPad. Let me get my tablet out. That's right, I forgot. That's right. I forgot I don't really use the checklist built into the plane here. I usually use the one that came to, shit. I really have no reason to use Navigraph or SimBrief while I'm flying because I have everything I need inside the airplane. Let me go to my bookmarks page, bookmarks bar, aviation, and it should be the FSR 500 manual. Correct, I believe it's page 121 that I need to go to. Oh, I'm already there. All right, takeoff flaps 0. We're taxiing before takeoff. Flight controls, set elevator trim, radio, and avionics. We got all that. That's good. Still got to put our strobe lights on. Rotate and lift off at 85 knots. 100 knots. Positive rate applied. All right, very good. Yeah, I mean, documents that came with this, it's excellent. It's a 150-page PDF that came with it, and it's got everything inside it. All the takeoff, you know, all the ins and outs of the airplane, operational stuff, how to operate with failures, emergencies while you're flying, like, you know, how to try to fix it while you're flying. It's got a lot of cool shit. All right, we're on our way. Our passenger comfort. You're good. Beta mode is doing its thing. That's good. Click nav. Let's turn our flight director on. Turn nav live mode on. It even says beta down there. That's interesting. So we can click VNAV also. Oh yeah, that's right. It doesn't. That's right. That doesn't do anything until we're up in the air in this plane. We are almost at the runway. Or 3/4 of a mile, I guess it is. Have our actual registration number for the flight that took place in real life, and 343RR is the actual registration number of that plane that flew to Acapulco yesterday from this airport. It was like one of 4 flights that it flew yesterday. For some reason our runway is not in here. For some reason it doesn't have the landing that we're doing today. It has our arrival chart. It has our arrival info. And we'll check the charts out once we get up in the air, but it doesn't have our... For some reason it doesn't have our info. Because we're doing ILS or RNAV. I'm not sure which one we're going to do yet, but we're landing on runway 10 today. And in the flight computer here, it doesn't give us an option for runway 10. It really just has runway 28. And that's not what we're doing today. I didn't choose that runway. I wanted to do runway 10 because it's you kind of hug the coastline the whole time as you're coming in. That'd be pretty cool just to hug the coastline of, that part of Mexico. I don't know how this plane landed in real life. I didn't check that out. I didn't really care. I wanted to land how I wanted to land. I wanted to land pretty much just right over the coast. We'll still make our landing. Just because we don't have it programmed into the system here doesn't mean that we can't do the landing. All we need to do is make sure we have the correct course programmed and the correct frequency over here, and we'll be okay. So we're almost at the runway, I think. Just about a 0.1 of a mile. Stop up here, put our landing lights on, put our strobe lights on, get clearance for takeoff. Bring up my checklist again. Normal takeoff. And one thing we need to make sure when we're taking off, we need to make sure that this number stays below 1,000, and we need to make sure we don't go into the red here. Because if we go into the red there, it's going to damage the engine, and we might not be able to fly until we fix the engine. So, this plane has a tremendous amount of realism to it. There's this realism thing. My headset just comes out and reconnected. It's weird. All right, so let's go ahead and release the parking brake. Let's move our lever up. We can start moving forward. Plane even has charts in it so you can set the right power setting for your cruising altitude and the outside temperature. Pretty wild. I haven't seen one of those in any of the planes in Microsoft so far. Positive rate, gear up. Get a little higher and then we will. All right, so let's engage the autopilot. Click flight level control. And VNav.
Don't sink. Don't sink.
There we go. Our cruising, our climb speed should be, I believe it's 125 is our best climb speed. Let's reduce our thrust a little bit. Let's set this to 125. All right, and we should be at a maximum of 1313 for torque, so we can move that up a little bit. ITT needs to be under 770. And NG needs to be below 101. Need to put this on auto. We need to put this on auto. And we can turn that off and that off. We are all set for our cruise. For our climb. Our way. It's really cool how it has the airplane on the chart there. Passengers are okay, that's good. Takeoff speed, our speed, everything here is looking good. We're below 101, we're below 770, and 1313 is the maximum. So we're doing good there. Pretty close to icing range. We're going to have to turn on icing here in a moment. Sync our heading. might as well turn on our icing equipment now. So let's go ahead and turn on stall heat and prop heat. Go to our appendixes. Starts on page 131. That way we can find out what our power setting is going to be for our cruising altitude today. Cruise performance, maximum cruise speed. We've never seen a chart like this before. Let me show you. I can show it. See how it's got like this grid? No, that's just one of the charts. There's, I think, 4 or 5 of them. Because it goes anywhere from negative 54 degrees to 30 degrees. And it goes anywhere from 15,000 feet to 30,000 feet for the cruising altitude. There's our plane there, and what we're going to do today is we're going to come down here and make this turn onto this airway here, and this airway here is the airway we're going to stay on the whole time until we get to the coast. I didn't see what our transition altitude is. Let's see here. Transition altitude is 18,500 feet. Okay. I mean, we don't have to worry about barometric pressure, but I still want to click standard if we need to. You know what? I don't think there's going to be a button to click since it's the outside button here. Okay. No problem. We are at -6 right now. Go ahead and, you know, we don't need to set a bearing indicator yet. You know what? Actually, we do. I like having one set up. I like having one set up for our flight, because that way, you know, it has our mileage to the waypoint and all that. That way, when we're sitting outside the plane, we can kind of see what's going on still. Now, you can pull up charts on this screen too. I didn't set this up. Didn't feel a need to have charts in 2 different places. Now, it doesn't say anything about moving our rudder trim back. Near the checklist. I mean, it would make sense to me to move it back. I didn't see anything in any of the checklists about it. I'll go back and double check the checklist once we get to our cruising altitude and I figure out what our power setting is supposed to be. I'll go back and double check it. So there we are. We're making our final turn. Standard instrument departure. They're starting to get hungry and thirsty again. Which they are. All right, let's get them something to eat and something to drink again. I mean, these are the hungry and thirstiest passengers I've ever seen in my life. All right, so let's go ahead and to our route. Normal map. There we go. Now let's go ahead and do our arrival chart. I believe our arrival is this one looks like here. We're doing 1A. Let me actually pull up Navigaph real quick. Vera 1A. So let's star this one. And, but here's the charts that we need for our approach. ILS 3. Yeah, let's star that one too. ILS 3, it should be 11.6. Yep, 11.6. All right, very good. So we at least have the chart that we need, so we can pull that again up later. Let's go back to our route. Let's go back to appendixes. Okay, let's see what our... We can turn off... We are at 21,000 feet and it's negative 13. According to this chart, at 21,000 feet at negative 13 should be around 1,300 our cruising power. So let's set this to the 1,300. Power setting at negative 13 degrees. 21,000 feet is 1303. So let's go ahead and make that. Move our power up just a little bit at a time. That's pretty good. That's close enough, I think. I don't want to go too much higher. All right, that's good. So our cruising power is set now. Let's go back to page 121. And let's look at cruising, monitor, cabin controls, and cruise power. So we are all good. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about the rudder though. That's weird to me. And I see in setting up the plane where we need to move the rudder to 2.5. The rudder trim. But I don't see anywhere where we need to readjust the rudder afterwards. Elevator and rudder trim set. That's for takeoff. No pilot. He was climb. Doesn't say anything about rudder control and cruise. So I guess we leave it at that 2.5 mark. I don't know. I guess. So here we are cruising. Here's the airway that we're on. This airway here, picked it up here, and we're going to take this one airway all the way down to our arrival. Cabin's okay. Everything is okay there. According to our flight plan, we begin our descent right after Avuro. Okay. Very good. Oh, it has cruise level. Now that's a different altitude than we have in SimBrief. It says 22,000 here. On the flight plan, I believe it said 21,000. Oh, it is 22,000. That's all right. We'll just leave it at 21,000. No big deal. This airway we're on, as long as we're over 20,000 feet, we're okay. Look at procedures one more time and just double check that they didn't have that approach is not there. That is really strange. It is the first time I have ever seen it where do not have, they got visual for runway 10, but everything else is runway 28. They don't have it. It's very weird. Just sit back and chill. Power is good still. It's negative 15 outside. That just means our power can go up a little bit, actually, I think. Let's see what it says for the charts again. Go for negative 15. 1308 would be the maximum cruise power, torque power. This number up here. We are on our way to Mexico. I love this airplane. This airplane is so cool. speed up the simulator a little bit. Maybe after we make this turn, we'll speed it up a little bit. Kind of okay with just sitting here with the plane just kind of doing this thing. And we'll probably have to serve, no joke, probably 10 drinks and snacks a day. It seems like every 10 to 15 minutes they get thirsty and hungry. Thankfully they're okay with the cabin temperature. I think our heading up. Getting ready to turn. What part of Mexico is this here? Morlia. Morlia, Mexico. Still looking for a job. I've had a few interviews. I was supposed to have one today, but they never sent me the link for it. Two exams yesterday, both for different insurance companies. One exam took like 2 hours to do. It was crazy, man. I actually like doing those type of exams. It was like number sequence patterns, letter sequence patterns, and writing about 5 or 6 different paragraphs. One paragraph for each question. And then it was like personality traits, like are you most this way and least this way. The number sequence and the letter sequence questions, there was 15 of those. I kind of wish that there was a bit more. I like those a lot. They have letters. You have to figure out the sequence of the letters, like how many numbers between the letters there are, how the pattern continues. Same thing with numbers too. They'll have 5 or 6 different digits, and you have to figure out the pattern of numbers and then choose the next one in the pattern. At this speed, we should be turning here, I would think, about a mile away from VOR there. We should probably start making our turn about a mile away, I would think. There you go. About a mile away. Our power setting is okay. Our power rating is still okay. Everything is still going good. Negative 14 now, so we're still good with our power setting. Let's bring our charts up. Checklist for descent. So for descent, all we need to do is really just activate the window switch if we need to. Ice protection, power lever set the desired torque. Set and cross-check the altimeters, the destination elevation, and climb controls. So that's pretty much about it. Check our VNAV. What VNAV is saying right now. We got about 31 minutes for our descent. Check our passengers out. Nice, some pillows for them. Everything is still okay with our airplane. Look at our arrival chart here. We're going to pick up a Vuru. That's going to be our arrival here. And we're going to take it to, if you were here, then that's where we're going to pick up our localizer right from here. So while we're here, let's go ahead and set our frequency. So, because we can also do an RNAV landing too. Let's pin that one as well. So for runway, and let's pin this one as well. Let's see what this looks like here. RNAV. So we need LNAV. We have see the thing with doing an RNAV landing though, the thing that worries me a little bit is that we can't put it into our flight plan, so we can't tell the FMS how to descend. We have to plug it in all manually. We might be able to do a glide path and an FAC type approach, a final approach course is what FAC stands for, because we have the localizer, the VOR station. So typically when you have the VOR station, you can, the approach button when you get close enough, and you'll get like a glide path and the FAC. So we'll have to think about that for a little bit. Not anything we need to make a decision on right now anyways. Either way, our course is 103, I think, right? Yeah, either way, our course is 103, so we can at least take care of that now. Let's plug in a course of 103. What we're going to do is let's go ahead and sync our heading. This in heading mode. And down here to CDI for deviation indicator. Now we're in localizer 1. And what did we say it was? I already forgot what it was. I think it's 103. My brain is fried sometimes. 103, right, okay. Let's come to the course knob, which, according to this diagram here, it's the side switch here. Let's set up 103. That is now programmed. And let's set this for 103 also. 103, very good. So let's go ahead and go back to this mode here and click nav. Now we're back in our navigation mode. Course is now set for our approach. I was reading a lot of really cool things that are going to be happening with the simulator here. 2024. There's a A380 that's coming out. There is an A350 that I believe Inabuilds is making. PMDG, which is the company that made the 737 that I use. They have a 777 coming out. There's some other Piper airplanes that are coming out. And there's a lot of really cool things that are in the works. There's Microsoft Simulator coming up. Terrain is so cool looking. Look how pretty that is. Little river. And the colors of that mountain. It's really cool. Maybe we will speed up the simulator a little bit here. See what our VNAV is. About 25 minutes until we need to descend. Oh, we're at -19 now. Jesus. The power rating for -19. We could probably increase the power a little bit. Negative. Well, it's got fuel flow ratings for. That is cool, man. Let's see here. So, -20. That is cool. Cruise performance, table A. -20 to +20. Fuel flow. Outside is -15. True airspeed is. Yeah, it's right on point, the fuel flow. That is pretty cool. I didn't notice it had that chart until just now. Very cool. All right, let's go back to power rating here. So we're at -17. So we could be at like 13, so we're still pretty close. That's fine. There's performance here. 21,000 feet. Outside air temperature is 17. Okay. Oh, it just combines the tables. Gotcha. Torque, fuel flow, and yeah, we're right on point with all that. That's amazing. Just a different chart. It's a cruise performance page instead of the maximum torque. It also, that page I was just looking at shows the fuel flow that you should have, and what the your actual airspeed is. Not the indicated airspeed, but that TAS number down here. Airspeed. I did increase the speed a little bit. So I slow down again. Check the passengers because I'm sure they're thirsty and hungry again. Passengers. Yep. How did I know? Right, coffee and snacks are served again. Actually coming up on the coast pretty quickly. Let's 16 minutes. I think it said we had 15. Let's go ahead and plug in our altitude that we're going to. 7,000 feet initially. Let's click VNAV. Our plane will now descend where it's supposed to, and I decided that we're going to do the ILS landing. So we can't program in the flight system, we can't program the RNAV system, so there's nothing for VNAV to really sink its teeth in, so to say. There's nothing to tell it what to do. So let's do this. So we have 111.9. So let's set that up here. Now to go from nav 1 and nav 2, you have to on this button here. We got 111.9. Let's program that. Acapulco is 115.9, so let's set that as well. Actually, we have ZIH first, so let's not do that just yet. ZIH is, let's see here. What? See it. .8, I think it says. And we're going to set our DME up, and then we're going to have nav1 as well. Back, so that's all set up. Now we will just stay the course. Let's put back on the regular map. Check out our plane. Everything is looking okay still. And our passengers are doing okay. We can see the coast coming up. That's good. If I remember correct, I think a good speed for descent, I want to say, is around 150 knots, I believe. Doesn't give us any kind of indication in the booklet here, but I would think that's a pretty good speed. I left my phone in the bathroom. I'll be right back, guys. There's our top of descent right there. Check our passengers again. They're okay still. Wasn't sure. Thought they might be thirsty again or hungry. It's only been a few minutes. Plane's got a fair amount of bounce to it. Fall asleep myself. You're listening to the engine, just kind of looking outside the window here. I'm starting to fall asleep myself. To do that, I have to stay awake so we can land the plane. Should be making a pretty big left-hand turn here coming up in just a few miles. I bet you it is awesome weather down there right now. Not too hot, not too cold. Probably a little cold to be in the ocean, maybe, this time of year down there. Awesome it would be just to live on the beach over the Pacific Ocean. It'd be awesome. When my kids are out of the house and they're self-sufficient, I'll just have myself a one-way ticket to like Bora Bora. Just get a job locally and just live in paradise for the rest of my days. Everybody goes to Florida, Texas, Arizona. Unique. Let's go ahead and just retire in Bora Bora and just be on a little postage stamp island in paradise. Miles and miles away from everything. Sit out after work. Smoke a stogie. Sit out on the beach. It's a pretty big turn we're making. So we got about, I would say about 50 miles into our descent. Let's switch sides. There's the beautiful Pacific Ocean. I'm sure these people are hungry and thirsty again, so let's check them out. It's only been about 15 minutes. Yeah, it's starting to creep up again. A little bit of orange here. We begin our descent. Why do we begin our descent? It didn't. It has the top of descent right here. I mean, I'm not complaining. I just wasn't prepared. I was expecting our descent to happen a little bit later. All right, so airspeed is under control again. Bring up our descent checklist. Windshield fogging up at all. Glide path is okay. QNH should still be 2992. I can't imagine it would be different. It's got 2993. That's close enough. No wind gusts. Don't have to really worry about adjusting our approach speed. Let's go ahead and adjust our barometric pressure to 2993. Let's turn on the icing equipment again because I'm close. Temperatures again. $29.92. You know what? We'll just stick with what the simulator says, not what our charts and everything says here, because that's probably pulling in info from the real world. So let's go ahead and just at the right row there. And let's switch over to our approach chart. Our plane should show up momentarily. Once we cross Avuro, then I'll go ahead and click the airplane icon again. Things are okay. Let's bring up the approach checklist on my tablet here. Really not much to do. We just have to switch the fuel and the ignition pumps over to manual. On the landing lights. Make sure everybody's got their seatbelts on. And we got about just over 8 miles now until we begin our arrival. That waypoint there, Avuro, is the first waypoint of the arrival. At 7,000 feet for about 20 miles, I think. And we got to get down to 5,500 feet. That's the altitude for our initial approach fix, according to the charts. All right, let's check our passengers out. Make sure they don't need anything. If they're not hungry or thirsty, go ahead and tell them to put their seatbelts on. There's our airplane. We don't need to be at 5,500 feet till here. This is 12 and a half miles. I think this is 20 or 30 miles. So we have a fair amount of time until we're going to start. Sending again. Actually, we probably should bring up the cruise chart again, because we're going to be at this altitude for a while at 7,000 feet. Let's see. Oh, you know, we don't have a chart for that. We'll just keep it around 170 knots for the true airspeed. let's set our next altitude at 5,500. Notice VPath came back on automatically. It's good. And I think we're going to switch over to... we'll wait. I was going to say switch over to heading mode now, but we got a fair amount of time before our next waypoint. I think after, when we get to our next waypoint, we'll switch over to heading mode. Passengers, knowing them, they're probably thirsty and or hungry again. Wow, that's surprising. That is surprising. I would have lost money on that bet. Would have lost money on that bet. Seven. this turn coming up, switch over to heading mode, and then we'll start getting ready for our approach. Approach is not, it says here, we have 5 miles. It's about 18 miles. Localizer will probably pick up somewhere around 25 miles out, I want to say. I believe that's kind of what the case is usually. Yep, they're getting thirsty again, so let's give them one more round of coffee and snacks. And that should be good for them for the rest of the flight. This turn now. Go into heading mode. Switch this over. Path is still good. The wind is pushing us. Let's couple more degrees. Up our speed a little bit. Let's go ahead and begin our approach checklist. We have to put our fuel pumps on manual. Ignition on manual. And landing lights on. Okay, so our localizer has now showed up. Actually, we'll wait until we get closer to armed navigation. Let's take this down to, I want to say 3,900, 2,100. And let's arm navigation.
Check gear.
How you fuck? Alright, localizer is now captured. Glide path, glide scope is now captured a little bit too, so let's click approach. This little green dot right here is our glide scope indicator. Alright, I believe icing equipment we can turn off at this point. Where it's going to get warmer as we go down. So we are lining up with our localizer. Now we can put our flaps down now if we want to, at least 10%. Our knots indicated airspeed is below 168. We can also put our landing gear now if we really wanted to as well. I don't see a reason to do either one. Our glide scope is not captured as well. Alright, so yeah. Let's go ahead and put our landing gear down. Put some flaps down. Oop, wrong button. All right, flaps 10. Slow down quite a bit more as we get a bit closer. Obviously, we'll slow down. our next set of flaps down when we get to 118 for our indicated airspeed. And we can go flaps full now. We're below 118. Our landing speed is supposed to be about 85 knots, indicated airspeed. According to the approach checklist, when we get below 100 knots, I should be disengaging the autopilot, so I guess we'll do that. Now we have manual control of the airplane. Let's try to set this bird down nicely. It's interesting that the name of our ILS landing went away. Up on the top left of the primary flight display, you see it says 111.9. It should have the name of our landing there, but it doesn't. It's weird. I wonder what happened. I mean, we're okay. This would be so much easier with a yoke instead of just using my thumb. Trying to get used to using the thumb, just making little inputs, not very big movements. It would be so much easier with an actual yoke. Trying to keep the CDI indicator squared up, trying to keep this lined up, and trying to keep this in the center while trying to keep our airspeed, somewhere around 85 to 90. have 2 red and 2 white. That's a very good sign. We'll answer that in a moment. Okay, let's get the checklists out. Actually, let me pause it real quick. Let me send a quick text message to the person who just called me. Hi, comma. Can I call you back in about 10 minutes? Question mark. All right, let's go back. All right, after landing, we have pumps on auto, ignition off, IDOT heat off, flaps for track, transport. Okay, everything else is good. That was a fun little flight. That was a pretty good landing. We'll see what the passengers say. So let's click on them now and see what they say. Hopefully they said it was a good landing. Ah. Great landing. Let's save that. Thought it was a pretty good landing myself. Bring it down to idle and just kind of aim for the end of the runway and just kind of let the plane just go down, especially with these type of little planes. Go down, go down, go down, pull up a little bit and try to get your nose even with the end of the runway. my dudes there. All right. All right, very good. All right, so park and brake is set. Let's turn this to off. That's on idle. Cabin controls for this stuff is off. Fuel pump switch. Turn that off. Avionics off. And off. Alternator off. ITT stabilize for a couple of minutes. Turn that off. Probably open the doors for the peoples. Let's let them out of the airplane. Other case manager. Okay, let's go ahead and pull the bleed air. And let's cut off the power lever here. There we go. Very good. We got to finish shutting down the airplane though. So let's go ahead and we can turn off the battery now. So now we are all done. Let's go ahead and check our plane over. Let's put the chocks in, security cones, just 2 covers, and everything is still okay. So very good. Well, that was an excellent flight, guys. That was a lot of fun. I'm glad we did it. I will more than likely be back tonight with maybe the Dreamliner, maybe the 737 again, maybe the 747 this time. I don't know. Probably maybe the Cessna Longitude. I don't know yet. I'll be back with something though tonight, for sure. Right now it's close to 3:30. I gotta start getting dinner together soon for my kids, and then I will be back a little bit later tonight with another episode of the Airplane Show. Certainly, before you leave, make sure you